Hey,
That's a nice tune. Hey, so
That's
let's
very
join
groovy.
you, right? That was
Yeah.
good.
Hello.
Yeah. Sound like my camera resetting here. I'm going to try to fix it around here.
We are live.
There we
Yay.
are. Lovely. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hey.
That's better. Hi.
Oh, yay, zoomed in. You look better. More free.
Yes.
Lovely.
Right. Yeah, and the whole like Halloween part is coming
Yeah,
up.
welcome to
So you guys-
October.
October. Yeah, I see some more Halloween style things here and there.
Spooky.
That's cool. Beetlejuice. That's a nice touch. Oh, I
Nice.
Yes,
see.
thank you.
The new movement is coming out here, at least. I'm not sure if it's ever
Oh,
out.
it's already, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've seen really good things, actually. I'm glad they did it this way instead of doing the whole Beetlejuice in Hawaii vacation thing they were planning like a decade ago. So, no, I'm really excited.
Well, let me start by saying, hi all, welcome to the stream. This is the
Welcome.
live stream for the 0.10 release indeed of Home Assistant. And yeah, quick round of introduction, I guess, right? Hi, I'm Frank, and yeah, I'm the project lead for Home Assistant project, the lead of engineering, and yeah, I'm the one that ships you the release every month, basically.
Hi, I'm Andy Gill. I lead the hardware development side of Nabokasa, and it will become clear in a moment why I'm here.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're going to talk about that nice stuff, but we should talk about it, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. Oh, hello. So streaming live from hell. I'm in New York City. My name's Madalena. I'm the product and design lead here for the Home Assistant project in Nabokasa.
That's why it looks so good.
Because it's in hell. Awesome. All right. And for everybody else, my name is Missy. I'm the community and social media manager for Home Assistant.
Well, welcome all. Yeah, indeed, we want to start with you. There,
Yeah,
Andy, because
yeah,
You're
so-
here for a not so fun reason, I would say.
Yeah,
So-
unfortunately, I would much rather be here to bring you the news of some fantastic, wonderful Nabokasa hardware that we're going to be bringing out. But unfortunately, it's not that. We wanted to let our community know about some problems that we've been having with ZBT1, give you a little bit of background to that, and tell you what's coming up as it relates to ZBT1. So I'm going to start sort of at the beginning, which is that a few weeks ago, we started to get reports through our support channel and from our distributors that some people were experiencing failures with the ZBT1. They were plugging them in and they were just not being recognized by whatever their host system was. So this was obviously concerning for us, but curious as well, because the previous Sky Connect devices, which were pretty much identical devices, had been hugely reliable. There is actually no difference between the Sky Connect and the ZBT1. The one key difference is the manufacturing time frame, and that is going to have a bearing on what I'm going to talk about in just a moment. But back to ZBT1, so we requested people send us their failed devices and started to do some investigation. We could obviously verify that the devices we got back were dead, but we got a couple reports of people saying they had noticed a small sort of pinhead sized mark on the blue casing of the ZBT1. And this turned out to be right above the voltage regulator on the board inside the casing. So we
We have
started
a
to look
picture
at that.
of that,
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me
there you
see
go.
if I can
Perfect.
find one. Here
Oh,
it is.
there you go.
Look, it's
Yeah,
in the blog.
there. So just where that red circle is, we started to see a couple of return devices and some reports of people that had that little mark on their
Yeah.
ZBT1. So we concluded that that was part of the problem. And after further investigation, we discovered that we could trigger a failure by plugging the ZBT1 into a USB-A port on a PC. And as I mentioned before, it takes the form of the device, the ZBT1 not being recognized, or in some cases becoming warm and then failing. Just on that getting warm subject for a moment, I'd like to stress there's no risk of smoke or combustion if a device is starting to overheat. The blue casing on a ZBT1 is ABS plastic, and whilst it can show the small pinhead-sized depression that you can see in the picture there, there is not enough thermal energy there to cause a failing or failed ZBT1 to combust. Part of our certification process that we go through has us follow industry standard regulations, and that prevents us or any manufacturer introducing devices that can be hazardous in the home. And we're CE marked, we're UKCA marked, and we comply with ROHS, which is the restriction of hazardous substances, etc. But back to the investigation, we did do more, and we noted that it wasn't all USB-A ports on a PC, but just some. It didn't occur on yellows, it didn't occur on greens, and it didn't occur on Raspberry Pi. So we quickly started a dialogue with our manufacturing partner, and we've concluded that it is a suspected non-conforming voltage regulator that has been used specifically in this first production batch of ZBT1s. And that's where the timing is important. As I mentioned earlier, it is only ZBT1s. Previous versions of Sky Connect are not affected. We've not had any issues, and we couldn't duplicate the fault at all in the testing that we were doing. So to be clear, this fault does not show up for everybody, and it's dependent on a particular setup. You may find you're using your ZBT1 with no issues, and it's performing as it should. Others, as we know, have experienced the device failing. So most importantly, we will be implementing a replacement program where we will replace any ZBT1s when a new production run is available in early November. Also very important, the new production run of ZBT1s will have a voltage regulator chip from a different manufacturer, and we have high confidence that it will perform as it should. We have done some more testing, and we can't induce the failure with devices that have this new voltage regulator, which adds to our confidence. So for the replacement program itself, we have communicated our intentions to our distributors today, and we'll have further updates in the coming days. For our customers, our users, and our community, what are we going to do? Well, we will offer to replace any ZBT1 from that first production batch of ZBT1s at no cost to the customer. We'll also be replacing the stock at our distributors when that becomes available. And you may have noticed that some distributors have paused selling their ZBT1s at the moment. Initially, we want to prioritize those devices that have failed. But as I mentioned if your device is working today, it's unlikely that it will fail unless you change your setup. But ultimately, we want to replace all ZBT1s with a ZBT1 from the new production run that has the new voltage regulator. Going to give customers a long period of time, 60 months, should they initially decide they are not affected, but then later, due to setup changes, they find they have issues, or they just simply change their mind. We want to keep people covered well into the future. So to anyone affected by this today, we are truly sorry. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. We will make it right. Please contact the seller where you made your purchase initially, and we'll be initiating the replacement program with them in the next few days. We've posted an FAQ with some answers to questions. And again, we apologize for the inconvenience. I'm going to stay on the stream in case there's any questions that come up in Q&A. But with that, thank you for your attention, and I'll hand it back to Frank and Madalena and Missy.
Thank you so much. Hey, first of all, I like the last part of the blog there which you wrote is the worst things can happen, but this has been a gut punch, right? All work at Nabokasa is fun to development the Home Assistant ecosystem and support the open home, and issues like this eat into our time and drop our users from new grades, and until ultimately it is a setback, right? But I really like how you picked this up and said this right. That's actually what we want to do. Some questions already popped up here and there.
Sure.
One of the questions, or the first question, and I think that's a good one. Somebody is, should I be afraid of fire? You answer that quite well. I see some no, but
no. Number one, we've never seen anything other than that small discoloration or the little pimple mark that is shown in the picture there. There just isn't enough thermal energy. It's ABS plastic. We checked with the manufacturer and got details on what the consistency of the ABS plastic is. There's just not enough thermal energy there to cause smoke or combustion.
Okay. And to be clear, this only affects ZBT1, which was a rename of the Sky Connect. Right before we had a Sky Connect, you can recognize the difference by the old and new logo. This is the new logo style. The old logo had more nodes. So if you have the one with more nodes, there's nothing for you to worry about. If you have this one, then well, this applies to you.
Yes.
Today.
Yes, correct. It is just a timing of the batch, and there was a batch of voltage regulators in that production run of the first ZBT ones that we think were affected. So it's the Sky Connects. We've had no problems. We did a lot of testing, and we couldn't get any of those to fail in the same way. And we've had almost no reports of a Sky Connect failing for any reason since it was introduced.
Introduced, yes.
Yes.
Definitely. Right. Somebody is asking if we are able to refurbish the chips that are coming in.
In our testing, we looked at, we actually went through a process of replacing to verify that it was the voltage regulator. So we did do some replacement. At the moment, we're not sure. We're working with our manufacturing partner on what the solution is going to be.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I don't see any new questions. Mine has no more notes on it. Then you're safe, Aaron. If you have more notes on the logo, it's fine.
I think JLo actually asked a question, and it was what happens to secondhand purchases. So if you bought a used one that you didn't buy from a retailer, what happens to those?
Get in contact with us. I would suggest for people in that situation where they have a secondhand one, pre-owned, drop us a note to our support team, either on Discord or support@nabokasa.com, and we can start talking with you about the best way to get that replaced.
Should I get a replacement? Like I have one of those. Should I just apply then for the replacement program, or how?
We want to take care of people that have got failed units first. Of course. We're not going to get new stock until the early part of November. So we want to manage it through our logistics chain. But yeah, people that have a desire to replace, either because they have a failed unit or they want to understand more about the program, should get in contact with their distributor.
Awesome. And otherwise, you still have this, how many months? 60 months. 60 months. That's 5 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time, by the
60
way.
months, and we'll still be offering no-cost replacements.
That's, by the way, that's long. Very good. Any ETA for getting the CBT back on sale? Sounds like December. Somebody's asking.
Yeah. The new batch of production will be available in early November. So that's really when we want the sales to resume.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Great. Well, thanks for the opportunity to explain what's going on, and this is always tough, but
Yeah, it is.
we
Well,
want to make
thank
it
you for
right,
setting it
do the right
straight,
thing.
right? And right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no problem.
definitely well done and good communication, I would say. My compliments. And
Thank you.
looking at a chat, I definitely see people appreciating that, and I think that's helpful, right? It's nice to
I'll
see.
stay on so that if any questions come to mind of people, they can just drop them in the chat, and we'll try and pick them up as best we can.
Super. Thank you, Andy. My car has less warranty.
Well, maybe we should
that's
start
funny.
making cars.
The Home Assistant Drive. I don't know. I don't want
Cars.
Yeah. Like it. Like it.
I was going to say, don't give Pascal a reason to have a heart attack, guys.
Well, then let's switch to the more fun subject of today, and that's actually the release, right? And yeah, first of all, it's October, so happy Halloween. This is the Halloween release for Home Assistant, and yeah, it's I like this one. It's a nice mix of things this time. Actually, we have
Yeah.
something very technical, and we have some UI bits. There are tons of fixes. It's not overly big and large that it's overwhelming, but it's also like not nothing. So I like this. This is the sweet spot for me in terms of releases, to be honest.
Something for
And
everyone.
yeah, exactly. So one of the first big things is actually the title of this whole release, right? It's heading in the right direction. And do you want to kick that one off, Madalena?
Oh yeah, sure. I can
Do you have
that.
something to share?
Yes, I do. I have something to share. So let me see.
Fly Connect. Come on, dude.
All right. Let me share my screen quickly.
Yes, please.
Let me find it.
We are well prepared in these streams, as you can see. Well, except for Andy. Andy, you were prepared. That's, by the way, something new in the release party.
So, as you can see, my dashboard has nothing, but is a brand new page, right? And if I create a section, right, as you have expect for the past few months when you're using sections view, you have like a title and you can add cards to it. Right? But there's one thing that's different. So you notice that instead of the heading being at the top, where you add it in the edit section dialog, instead the heading is now, the title is now a card. What that means is that you can actually do a lot of things that previously you cannot, but you have a lot of functionalities that cards have. For example, like visibility, you can change the size of it. You can also change the style and a lot of different parameters. So this is a new card for this release called the heading card.
Wow.
Yay.
Nice.
Yeah. This is cool.
Well, what does it have? So it shows text, right? That's great. And what else does it do? Well, let's take a look at my dashboard. All right.
So
Ta-da.
wait a second,
Whoops.
Madalena.
Yes.
Previously, we had those headings already, right? So there are now cards.
I know.
And so what will happen to people? Like the old one is gone, right?
So the old one will be automatically migrated over to a heading card. Thank you to the magic of Paul.
Yeah, that's Paul's magic.
Yeah, Paul's magic.
Definitely cool.
Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
And yeah, so you might notice that there's something extra now this time around. Like it used to be just empty heading that says like bathroom and that's it, indoor climate. But now you can actually show a little extra information that you might not want to spend an entire card to show it, but something that is information that might help you understand that particular section a little better. So for example, in my living room, I can be like, I want to see like what temperature and like carbon dioxide it is right now. I can actually I can actually show a tiny little thing that is called a header badge in here. So let's see how that works. So header entities. So you can actually add underneath the entity section, you can actually add a lot of other entities. You can add as many as you like, as long as like there's enough space for it. So for example, for weather, the weather card right here, is pretty good. It shows me the condition of the day, the temperature, and all that. But there's something that I'm really curious about. What about humidity? If I want to show humidity, I can either add a card, but at the same time, if it's just like some additional information that I don't need a lot of pay a lot of attention to, I can add it as a little badge that is on the heading. So the way to do it is, then let me find first of all, my weather entity. And you might see that it says cloudy right now, but you can actually edit it. So you can actually edit it, and there's a lot more options here. There's visibility, interactions, and appearance. And you can change the icon. So if I want this one to be about humidity, then I can use the water percent icon, maybe cloud percent. Which one looks better? I guess
I
this
like
one.
the cloud percent. Yeah, that
Cloud
one's cool.
percent. And you can let's see, and you can and yeah, under the entity, there's many different attributes, and I can select humidity in here. But now you got the humidity that is also showing in the header. Done. So you can do a lot of cool things with this. For example, you might notice that there's this little badge here that is doing a little countdown. So let me zoom in a little bit. So if I move a lot right now, actually, yeah, you can see that like it actually changes. And it actually shows up when I move, right? So that's because I added a little condition there. So whenever there's someone who's moving in this room, the badge will show up. So,
Jaap in the chat actually noticed he wrote spotted the condition there. Nice. Yeah, that's it.
let's see how that is set up. So what I have here is the Apollo automation presence sensor. And let's see. And so it can actually, it's a wave sensor, so it can actually sense how many people that are in the room right now. Right now, of course, there's me. There's only one person, and it can also count like if there's any moving target or still target. So in this case, I'm doing moving targets because I'm moving around right now. And so to do that, first of all, I can actually set the appearance and the state. And instead of using the state, which is just the number count, like if I move, then it increase into 1. But that's not very interesting. Instead, I can use last change, which actually shows me when was the person who was in the room that last moved around in here.
That thing is so fast, by the way.
I know, it just updates live.
Yeah, that's cool.
And in order to make it hide away when nobody's moving, I need to add a visibility condition. So in here, I added an entity state. In this case, is if the moving target count is not equal to 0, then this little heading badge will be shown. So that's why it will show. If I don't have this, for example, if I can actually test it too, like nobody's moving, then the condition didn't pass, then it wouldn't show, right? But if I'm moving a lot, I think it will pass. No, it's really
you
hard.
have to move at the same time. You're challenging yourself there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's another cool thing you can do with badges. So, there's also other things you can do too. So, for example, if I have a subview that has a lot more cards about the living room that I can go to, I can actually use the heading card for navigation. So what you can do is use the interactions here. So by default, clicking on any of these badges or the title would not show anything. So you might notice that like clicking on it, there's like it's static, and
It
because
makes sense, right? They're not buttons or something. Like they're
Yep.
not looking clickable, to be honest. But
yeah, like one thing we want to make sure that is clear that the difference between what's clickable and what's not clickable. So another thing is we don't want, like by default, people to rely on clicking such a small area to show something that they need. If they really want to show something that they need, they should use a card. But if you really want to have a strange user experience for you and your family, you can choose to do that too. And to do that is to add interactions. So I can actually have the entities here, and I can choose interactions. Default is nothing, but you can actually use it to show more info. So by doing that, you can't really tell that's clickable, but if you click on it, it actually shows the more info
Nice.
dialog. Another thing you can do is for it to navigate. So like I mentioned earlier, for the living room, if I want to go to a sub view, you can do that. So you can use that to navigate and go to a different page. So for example, wow, I got a lot of random names here, but yeah. So one thing that you might notice is that once you do it, there's a little wiggling arrow here, and you click on it, then it goes to that subview.
Nice.
Voila. So a lot of things that we're building right now, as you might notice, is we're building to something big. We're essentially laying down the foundation of all the dashboard components that we need to make the default dashboard to be better. Because right now our default dashboard looks like this, but in future, when we move to sections, we will have like nice amenities such as these nice navigation links, these little badges, and very nice looking tiles.
Nice.
So far, so good, right? There's more.
It slowly comes together like right now. Like
Yeah.
this has been a long way. It's
Yeah.
very, very nice to see. There were some questions though about people asking, like, can you resize the headers or can you place two next to each other in a section? Is that possible?
Actually, I've never tried that. But it's not designed to do that. But
I know the answer. You
why
can.
not?
You can actually resize it. The layout tab is available for the header card.
Yes, you can. And but yeah, you can actually have two heading cards within the same section if you want, and that kind of creates an illusion of two sections stacking on top of each other. It's a nice little trick. Not recommended in a way because it's kind of make the sections less predictable when you resize the window. But if you really want two sections to be on top of each other, you can. So here's you have two sections like this, even though it's actually just one section. And I think you can resize this too. So if I change the layout, I can actually turn this off and have a narrow section title like that, and have a little card next to it if I want to. Looks a little weird, but you can do it.
But you can.
Yes, you
JLo,
can.
JLo is shouting, can you show the subtitle?
Oh, what are subtitles? Okay, let's
we
see.
Didn't talk about that yet, but
well, let's take a look. Well, so here's the bedroom right here. As you can tell, there's a whole bunch of lights going on. It's very messy. So there must be a better way to organize this, right? One way to do it is to maybe divide this into different groups so that it's easier to locate the card, right? Because like looking at a list of like 10 cards is not easy, but if we can make it into smaller chunks, it's easier to find. So you can do that with a heading card too. So what you need to do is add a heading and choose subtitle. And you might notice that subtitles are smaller so that, it shows the hierarchy of information, right? This smaller means deeper in the information hierarchy. So this is more top level information. That is like lower level information. And I can change the text for this. So for example, I want to group the lights by my task lights and my accent lights. So let's do accent lights and pick a nice icon for it.
Siren.
I love
alarm
all
light.
these little icons, yeah, like traffic lights and
There are too many icons.
where are the string lights? I think I missed it. But anyway, let's just pick something like little thing. All right, and save. And you can move this anywhere you want, and so that it can be used as some sort of a divider between cards. So maybe here, and then the salt lamp obviously is an accent light, so I'm gonna move it down here. So like that, and I can add another heading, subtitle. This time is the task light. So those are the main lights thing of the room, and I'm gonna add use a nice light icon here, and save. And now I have another one, and you can also use it like a divider, like this too. All right. And I want to make it not leave a giant space, so I'm gonna move it like this. That nice and tidy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, pretty cool, right? One also like little hack, not recommended, but if you really want to, is that you can also use it as a divider, right? So basically subtitle, but without anything, essentially.
Like a spacer.
Yeah, like a spacer. So you
It's half height
can
too,
use that and then move it to like add more space, I guess.
That's a gutter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay, that's really hard to select. Okay, that might be a
Good
bug. All right. So cool.
Question though.
Yeah.
Can those subtitles also have this little, like, I don't know, but what are they? Mini badges?
Oh,
kind of
yes, you can. Everything is yes, you can. So let's see. If I want to have, let's say, well, this might be a lot harder to do live on screen, but interesting. Let me see. If I want to have a button that turns on all the lights, I can too, right? If I come to add entity, so bedroom, so that's the whole group. But right now it's off, and there's no interaction yet. But if I can actually make it used to toggle.
Toggle. Yeah.
That and now you can use it to just don't turn off all my lights here. Okay, like oh yeah, so it worked. And yep,
It doesn't
just
look like a button. I wouldn't recommend it.
yeah,
though,
well, maybe in future we didn't make it look more like a button, but yeah, probably shouldn't. You should use a card like this. But yeah. Cool. Yeah, this is awesome.
Beautiful.
Yes. This is like we're almost complete now, I would say. There could be more things maybe. There's still a big project going on redesigning a lot of the cards we have. Right? We did a shout out for the work group there a few releases back, or last release actually.
Yeah, so like 2 months ago, well, a month and a half ago, or 2 months ago, when in the Dashboard Chapter 2 live stream, we talk about like we're looking for help from the community to help us redesign some of the cards. As you know, like if you look at some of the cards, it like the font size of this temperature doesn't really match the font size of the tile card. The design is very uneven, and I think we can do a lot better. To standardize the design and design language, and also make it look prettier. There's I think we can lay out this card in a better way. So we are looking for any designers in the community, and especially like any card developers. Like we would love to get your help. It's Hacktober, so if you have if you like to hack something, like just changing the font size and all this to make it look better, that would be very helpful.
Yeah, it's Hacktoberfest indeed. So if you're into this stuff, this might be a good way to contribute to the Home Assistant project in general. So dive in. I'm at least already very impressed, like playing with this during out the last weeks. It's just amazing to be able to drag and drop all this stuff, but also the headers make it much better. I like those little. And I'm calling. I don't think we ever settled on a real name. I like the mini badges or entities on top of the
I
headers.
got mini badges too. Yeah,
Yeah.
header badges.
Okay, it sounds so cute, like those cute little mini badges or something. That's how it feels to me.
So yeah, if you go, so to join the dashboard working group, feel free to find me on Discord or find Missy or any moderators. They'll point you the right direction. And right now the group is working on some cool stuff. There's like a card for remote controls for remotes. So instead of making a whole bunch of up, down, left, right button, it's just a card with all that. And someone's working on plant status as well. So an area card. So very exciting. Yep. The bedroom fan is 73 degrees. As you can tell, I'm in hell, so it's hot here.
Hey, I also noticed like the little mini badges there are all gray and such. I've seen some colors too. How does that work?
So yeah, if I move right now, right, you can see that actually
that one was red,
has a
right?
color. Yep, correct. So there are actual ways to do it. For example, right now, entities. This one is set to a fixed color, right? It's just pink right now. But there are little tricks in the way that you can actually have a badge, right, that shows the same information but changes color when it's like through above a certain threshold. So one thing to do it is essentially to add the same entity twice. Like for example, I do this, and so right now it looks duplicated, but I can add a condition. So visibility, add condition, numeric state, that when it's below 28, that was a normal color will show. Or when it's above 28, I'll make it red because it's fire hot in here. Maybe I can make it a temperature icon with thermostat icon with an exclamation mark. Yes, like that. And add visibility, numeric state, entity. Doing it live here. So yeah, let's see.
But this is specifically for temperature sensors, right? They don't have like a specific active state. So in this case, you indeed have to do some work around that, what Elena is doing right now, which sense in a way.
So when you edit it, you see all the badges in there. But once you press done, you see like the conditions is high. Now it's way too hot. It's 28 degrees. So turn on the AC.
This is indeed a nice workaround. I've been discussing some solutions there with Paul to make ranges supported in the future, maybe, but we're not there yet. For now, what you can do, at least if it's not a sensor, but if you have, for example, a light, which is a toggle-based entity, I'm not sure if you have a light that you could add there, Madalena, as a MIDI badge in some header, as an example.
What kind of light?
Just a light you can toggle. Could you add one?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's see. Light.
A light, just some light.
Room.
There we go.
Ooh, that's a lot of choices. Yeah. Light. That. Okay.
Right. So if you have this one in, you will now see it's off, and it's also gray, right?
Yep.
But if you would have, could you change the interaction to toggle so we can turn it on for a moment?
Yes, no problem. Toggle.
Toggle. Can you turn it on?
And okay. Let's see. Right here. Oh wait. Turn it on.
You see it's on and still gray. If you now edit it, you can
Yes.
actually change the active color. So there are many entities, like, for example, a light. They have an active and an inactive state, right? A fan has that too. It can be on or off, or it can be heating and cooling in case of it's a climate entity. So you can change it to be a state color. So in this case, it's on, it will show the color of the light, but you can also use any other active color you like. So in case of an accent color indeed, or a red color, or a pink purple, it will show that color you selected when it's on, and it will be gray when it's off. So the workaround just shown for, which works for sensors, for temperature sensors, for example, isn't needed for anything like lights that can just be colored on a state color.
Yeah, it's even you can do it the color of the light.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I made it able to toggle right here. Oh, there's one more cool thing, right? I showed the example here just now for showing the weather here for the humidity. But besides just showing one thing, you can actually change multiple items within the same batch. So with here, you can choose the state content, and you can add pressure, wind bearing, maybe not, wind bearing, and then visibility. And they'll all be chained together with like a little tiny bullet and save. But at this point, it feels a little too much information. So let's take something off. But yeah, that's how it works. There's a lot of options. Oh, if you want to turn off the icon, you can do that too. You can want to turn off the state. Oh wait, that just means
as you
showing
can see, Paul and Madalena really took this one to the next level. Thank you also, Paul, for implementing every single little bit of this. You can, like, from the get-go, if you just drag in a heading card and set some headers, it quickly looks beautiful, I can tell you. But the amount of options and tweaking there is definitely to many people's liking, I'm sure. Like, there are many people with different needs and different use cases, and I'm pretty sure most of them can be satisfied with this.
Yeah, amazing
I
flexibility.
like the wiggle. The little
Super
wiggle.
nice.
Yeah.
Headers. That's
Yep.
it. As said,
Headers.
if you upgrade to this
Ta-da.
release, your existing like titles from the sections will automatically be migrated to the new header card. So no need to worry. It might look slightly different, a couple of pixels. It's different, a little bit different in size, a tiny bit, but in general, you shouldn't notice, and it will just happen automatically for you, which is kind of nice considering this dashboard is still experimental and has migrations in it. So that's a very nice touch there too. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I have one tiny thing that I want to show too while we're still on the dashboard.
Okay.
So this is really tiny, but to me, it's very important, and it was from a new contributor. So
cool.
So this is what a graph used to look like in Home Assistant. Like in the last version, there's the old colors. So we have a set of color palette that we use for these kinds of charts. So we have I think 60 colors in there, 52 colors in there, which is actually way too much. No chart should have that many colors. So these colors were intentionally picked so that they should be distinct enough so that when there are multiple lines, you can tell from one another. But as you can see here, the three colors are actually rather similar, and it's really hard to tell apart, even though you only have 3 sets of data. So this little contributions here improve the color, the accessibility of the color by making the color more distinct across the color wheel. So this is based on observable JS. And yeah, you can see that the colors work for both light theme and dark theme. And
there's a science behind everything, right?
If you're like a graphic designer, you'll notice that that's how much the color are different from each other between like the first color, second color, third color, and so on. So this is the original wheel, which is 1, 2, 3. And you can see that the three colors are very close in proximity with each other, which is why it's hard to tell between them. In the new system, you have this, we actually picked the ones that is almost the opposite in the color wheel. So the first color is right here. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see. So, oops.
We lost something here.
Oopsie.
I think I accidentally triggered the screensaver thanks to Mac OS. So,
well, we haven't seen the new result yet.
So yeah, you can see like in the original one, the three colors are very close, very too close to differentiate them. But in the new version, the first color is right here. Right here. The second color is right here. So it's like almost the opposite side of the color wheel. And then it just jumps around like in big moves across the color wheel. So to make sure that they are pretty distinct. So yeah, thank you for the contribution. So the result is that now that's before, and this is after, which is much easier to tell between the three lines. One thing we do have to notice is that like it's not just like people who have like normal eyes, right? People who have color blindness, they might see like certain colors to be very similar. So that's why some of the colors are chosen the way it is. But yeah, so it's now applied to the new chart. So it's much easier to tell the 5 lines apart now. So thank you.
Good note there, JLo. It will also change the colors of the history lines on your map cards. So
yay.
Well, for the better indeed. That's good.
Yeah,
thank you, JLo.
Yeah, thank you, Bart, for professor of big data science at Ghent University. Wow. Yeah,
there was some science behind the color, so I like that. That's a fit.
There is science.
That's definitely a fit.
Science. All right. So that's all from me for now.
Good. Let's head over to my screen in that case to show some different things that are in this release. Can you do that, Missy? I don't have the control somehow.
Oh no.
Oh, that's fine. We'll survive.
I'm like, I don't know what you did. How'd you break it? Jeez.
I'm testing a different setup as well right now, and I lost all my control, so I'm looking at the stream view literally. So I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry.
Well, there you go. You got stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. So I want to talk about my big list of repairs here, which is, by the way, caused by this being a little bit my junk system. So there are tons of repairs in here in general by some testing system and some testing integration we have, which is called Everything But the Kitchen Sink. And that's actually detail number 1 I want to talk about, because repairs will now show the integration that created them. It will tell you that.
Nice.
So, for example, there are integrations like maybe Spook, which is custom integration, but there's also other integrations that can trigger repairs for something else. Like Spook will probably create issues that are for automations, and it will show up as an automation error, but you don't know who created it before. So right now, we will tell you. Oh, this is a wrong example, but let me get one that. This one, for example, it will tell you that this one is reported by Everything But the Kitchen Sink integration. This is kind of nice little touch that Wendelin added, who, by the way, recently started at Double Casa to join the front-end team. So thank you so much for the nice addition there, Wendelin. But there's more in here, and that's actually the long-term statistics. So in case you didn't know, we previously had in our developer tools a tab hidden called statistics. And it will show that it had maybe some issues. And as it turned out, people don't look here. Right? People don't know this tab exists. People don't know it will tell you about issues, about statistics that are recorded and have issues. And this can be different reasons. The sensor changed unit of measurement or something else that caused the data not to match up with historical and now, and becoming problematic. And you need to make an active choice on what you're going to do here. So to fix that, we will now raise some of these like decision-making repairs to these decision-making issues as a repair. For example, here, there's here a statistic issue that a unit has changed. And now I have the option to just update the unit of the historical values or just delete all my historical data. Of course, we cannot do this automatically. We cannot automatically for you to decide for you to ditch all the historical values, right? So we ask that question now, and then you can like fix it. Let me just kill this one. And there it should go in a few seconds. So yeah, that's what has been added to the repairs. We now see where it's coming from, and we will see statistical issues here, long-term statistical issues. Going back real quick to the developer tools, this page also improved a little. We now see a data table. We've seen a lot of these new table structures around everywhere in Home Assistant recently, and we now added it here too. And the nice thing here is that you can actually use the multi-select to
data
delete a bunch of
table.
them. Yay, data table to do multi-action. That's kind of nice to see that if you want to do that. I wouldn't recommend to select all and then delete select statistics, right? You get a confirmation dialog, of course, if you are sure, but you will delete all your history. But now you can do that here, at least in a way, easy and clean up history if you want to. And cleaning up data will also fix an issue, of course. Yeah, repair issues and long-term statistics. I have so much work to do when I update. Yeah, I can imagine. You probably will have. This is something that you probably will see once you update to this cycle. You will probably have a bunch of these notifications, which honestly, I think is a good thing. Those are hidden problems, right? And they will like rise to the surface. It might also be something that is caused by custom integration that doesn't have the right property set, or maybe even an integration in Home Assistant that doesn't have the right property set. So if you're stuck there, please, like if it's a Home Assistant integration, a core integration, please report it with us or contact the custom integration author so we can fix it along the way. But during beta, we definitely have seen new issues come to the surface because of this. But I think it's a good thing, to be honest. All right. Now I want to dive into a very maybe more controversial topic. Is that the thing to say? I'm not sure if it's controversial. I want to talk about automations.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we renamed a few things, and maybe some people now start running scared or being mad already. Don't be. Hold on, hold on. This is not that bad. Share this tab. Let me move. We changed the syntax for all YAML automations. So if you like an old school writer of automations in YAML in code, which I am. Actually, I'm still. I do like the UI. I often use it a little bit, but I'm still old school writing as a developer. Maybe. We changed the syntax to be more, how would you say that? Sensible, fluent, friendly.
Grammatically correct.
Grammatically correct, that's fine too. That works. Nice. And yeah, there's a lot of text here, but I made a before after screenshot that I think would be best. But you might remember from a few releases back that we changed the name from service calls to performing actions, right? We now have actions. And at that point, we also changed the YAML piece a little bit. So with the service key and YAML automations for actions also transitioned to be action. And that was pretty well received, actually. So we thought, well, let's do some more consistency. So here it goes. I hope this is visible and understandable, but I made a very little example automation. What it does, if the light of a kitchen changes to on and the motion sensor is on, it will turn on a light in the living room. It's pretty much useless, but for the sake of example, at least it shows what changed in the automation .yamls here. So here on the left, we see the old syntax. We had the alias and description on top for the automation, and then we had a list of trigger, a list of condition, and a list of action. And that's where the biggest change here is that it's now changed to be plural. So it's a list of triggers, it's a list of conditions, and a list of actions, which indeed makes grammatically so much more sense. On top of that, we also fixed a little thing here, because if you have a condition, you will notice that a single condition here has a key called condition. And if you have an action, there's a single key here called action. But if you have a trigger, then each trigger has here a single key called platform to indicate what the trigger is, which is a weird terminology. That's actually something internal to Home Assistant. It's so old that this is probably somewhere created before Home Assistant was even public on GitHub years ago by Paulus, probably 10 or 11 years ago. So this is a more technical term of what's used internally, and it's really not meant to be using fisting actually. So we changed this key to be trigger 2. So it's really nice. You have a list of triggers here with multiple triggers in it for each trigger 1. And for conditions and actions, it's exactly the same structure. So it makes more sense and logical. Some people are saying this was something that always confused me. That's good. Cohesive, that's a good word. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. So yeah, that's what we did. If you are looking at this, don't panic, right? There's nothing like breaking. You can safely upgrade to this release. It will just run whatever you have. It's just like the old syntax is there. We are not deprecating the old syntax. Like if you write automations in this one 2 years from now, they will work. We still have syntax around that we've used 5 to 6 years ago that today still will work. One of the rules we live by is that our automations that we create and the syntax there should never break. And that is still in place. So no worries, upgrade, it will work. We did update all the documentation to have this new syntax. So all the thousands of automations examples and trigger examples are all changed and updated to the new syntax. We will use the new syntax from now on. And yeah, that's basically it, I guess. Did I forget anything?
Nice.
I don't think so. Oh, did you want to show, does this kind of fall into the same, like you did the lines for separating the YAML itself?
Oh, yes, we could show that too, right? And that's actually an example.
The updated YAML editor.
Yeah, it looks
Everywhere.
beautiful.
Not just that, there's even a more important aspect to this. Let me switch to the piece of automations here. So what would happen to your existing automations, right? They will just work. However, if you create an automation in the UI, we actually will use the new ones by default. That's nice, huh? And this also means that if you have an existing automation and you open that in the automation editor, once you save it, it will save the new version. So your automation syntax will automatically update once you once you change it. All right. But yeah, there's indeed a little cool new thing in the automation editor, which I'm just going to show through a different automation, if you don't mind. Let me pick up, I don't know, this one doesn't work. Let me pick up this one. This is fine. It's a YAML automation, but that will work. Here we go. So this is a piece of YAML shown in the YAML editor, and this works for every single YAML editor we have across Home Assistant, by the way, the things that I'm going to show now. If it's a dashboard you are editing, a card you are editing to a piece of YAML, or an automation, doesn't matter. This will show up everywhere. And this is a little contribution we got from, forgot the name, I'm so sorry, I will look it up in the release notes soon. But it was contributed, so thank you so much for doing that. And what's happened here is that one of the main grinds, I would say, when you start out doing some YAML is that the spaces matter, right? The amount of spaces you have here, they matter. If you have one off or two off, it will not validate. It will not work, and it's something that many people hate about this language, the syntax basically. So what was contributed is the fact that if you select a node, there's a little line shown here, a helper line to indicate where you're at. Like it's here too. It's very small. We have something bigger here, like your entity ID. Look at that. And it helps you aligning everything much better. So you're very well aware how many spaces there are and like little things. So that's nice. Studio Code copy, yes. If you're a little bit user of Visual Studio Code, it will do that, and that's very nice. And it's good to see that here. There's also another little trick here, which I absolutely love too, is the ability to like collapse this part. Bam, that one is gone. I'm not interested in that one. I'm working on actually this choose. Yeah, this is the only choose I have, so that's nice. Here are the different conditions. Yeah, so this helps you to quickly collapse parts and focus on the parts you're working on. So the bigger parts, like here, the triggers, I'm not interested in, so I can just remove that for now. I'm working on this part. That really helps. Default, I'm not interested in, so I'm going to work on this section. So this little collapsing helps. This little helper line for indentation really helps too. And yeah, that's in every single YAML editor in Home Assistant now.
Yep, even in the dashboard editors. Very useful.
Dashboard editors, yes, indeed. Let me see. Look at this beautiful dashboard, by the way.
Especially like when there's so many levels deep for a YAML file, the line really helps.
Yeah, it does. Oh, oh no, we need to load a bit.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, there it is.
Nice.
Name of the contributor on GitHub is Nav62, by the way.
Nav62, that's cool. So you're trying to get us away from YAML. Still making much sense. I think it's yes. No, but even if you look at it, right, you want things to be able to, especially with the automation naming changes, like even if you're not fully aware of what YAML is, if you share one of those things or even look at the source of one of those things that is shared, it's important to be able to at least a little bit understand what's going on. And those little tags that we previously had, like a platform on the triggers, is just weird. It's a weird concept that's hard to understand, while a trigger makes way more sense. So even if you're not a full-blown YAML user, it does make readability much better in the end if we make this more cohesive. There, right?
Yeah, nice word.
There's one question.
Worth the week.
Can you mix and match?
Yes.
Does this still work?
Yeah, definitely. As a matter of fact, if you have an automation that uses the old syntax and you override parts in your YAML with the new syntax, even that will just work. So it's really built to be robust and just work. Just work.
You want to talk about triggers of triggers?
No, do you want to, JLo? I'm going to. Let's start. So this is a piece that is, there's a little note in the documentation on it, but I'm going to try to see if I can bring it up. Let me quickly make, can I just use one that I have? Yeah, I can just use one that I have. That's way easier. Let me use this one. Collapse this. Here we go. So this is a new little feature contributed by Tim Carwatts, and it's actually mainly used, mainly created as a use case for people that create blueprints, by the way. So if you're a blueprint creator, this one is for you. Because we have a selector in our blueprints where you can offer a user to provide additional triggers to a blueprint. And using those was basically nearly impossible because you cannot do something like, I cannot edit this one, right? I cannot. I need to take control. Let me take control. This system is so messed up now. Okay. Anyways, you cannot do something like this where if you're in Blueprint Auto where you have like the user triggers, the triggers the user selected. This doesn't work in YAML. This is not valid. There was no way to provide a list here or combine two lists, basically. This is an issue. So what we did is we added, or what CarWatch did, he added something called triggers. So you can now put triggers in triggers, giving another list of triggers that are also applied. The cool thing about this, besides the use for blueprints, is that you actually can use it to group multiple triggers. So I could group these, and I could create a new one. So even if you're a YAML author, you could make two groups of triggers if you want to, which is pretty neat for organizational structure. So this is triggers in triggers. So you can nest triggers in triggers, and I think you can even put triggers in them if you wanted to, but I wouldn't go overboard with that. Anyways, that's a feature here, and it's especially creative or especially useful for people creating blueprints. That's basically it. It has a small mention in the release notes, but still cool. All right. Let me switch back to the release notes, see what we have left here. Oh, it's here, by the way.
Yep.
It's linked, especially for blueprint people. That's very useful. Faster upgrades. Also new this cycle. So Home Assistant has been blazing fast, I would say. Pretty much the last year or two, we have consistently seen performance upgrades, and this release is no exception. There are many performance upgrades again, but this one is interesting because if you're using custom integrations often use a little bit of coding packages, Python packages that are out there on the internet. And as soon as Home Assistant starts using a custom integration, it will reach out to the internet to download those software packages that integration needs. And that process, it wasn't the fastest. And what now happened is that Robert Edenhouse, he actually upgraded Home Assistant to use a faster program to download and get and install these packages. It is actually what makes us release Home Assistant as fast as we do. Like back in the day, shipping Home Assistant would take me 2 hours, just the building process. And Robert optimized that process using a program called UV. And now we ship in like 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. So that's a huge win. And this same piece of technology, UV, is now part of Home Assistant, meaning every time you update a custom integration or update Home Assistant or restore a backup, things like that, it will quickly fetch the dependencies it needs, the packages it needs, and installs them in a WIMP. So if you're running a lot of custom integrations, which I generally wouldn't recommend, but if you do, then it will definitely upgrade faster now, which is a good speed boost. There's a nice little link here of our developer backstory if you're more technical, where you can read about how like this little change saves us 200 hours of processor and server time every single month, and just by using this, making this replacement. So it's pretty impressive stuff, to be honest. From a technical perspective, that's impressive stuff. So thank you, Robert, there. That's pretty nice. And then we're down to the list of new integrations. And it's a huge list. It's 12-ish something. Did you look at the list? Any of you?
I did.
So,
Yeah. I went through and did it.
There's Google Photos, which
yes,
sounds cool. Although there's some limitations due to the new API.
Yes, there's definitely a limitation. Google Photos is definitely really cool. If you expect to put it up and then access your whole library, that's a no. Google is putting up a new API, which this integration uses, where this is like protected. So you cannot access all the photos. You can only access the photos that you also uploaded. So in case of you adding this to Home Assistant means that you can actually upload photos to your Google Photos, which is, that's pretty helpful. You could maybe upload motion detections to a specific album or things like that from a camera, right? So you can do some stuff with that, or maybe upload BD assets and use those assets again in, for example, your automations or notifications. But there's a Google limitation that only allows you to access the photos that it uploaded itself. So Home Assistant can only access what it uploaded. And so it's kind of useful in a way, but not the use that you would expect. There's also a custom integration out there that still is able to get access to all the photos. And some people ask, why are you guys not using that? But that's the reason is that API that the custom integration uses is going away. So yeah, wouldn't be very useful to use that. That's Google Photos.
What about delete? Can we do that?
Good question. That's too hard. Next. I don't
Fair
know.
question.
I'm sorry. That's a very fair question. I don't know. Do we have media deletion controls? I actually don't know. This is a good question. Never tried. Never looked at it myself, to be honest. If somebody knows the answer, drop it in the chat. That's cool. Stuff like that. Anything else, Missy? You like maybe? Or Andy?
Oh man, they got Wordle up in there.
Have you integrated it with it yet?
I haven't, no. What I do want to say, though, is that Yoast got called out for this being, it was like, we need to shut down Home Assistant. This is it, guys. We're peak. We are not getting any better than this.
This is like the Avi home of home automation, I would say. Being able to track your Wordle gaming progress status from the New York Times in Home Assistant. Although I do kind of think about like nice little automations. I'm not sure how real time it is, but I can imagine that if you like successfully complete another game, you, I don't know, enable party mode in your house for 5 minutes or something.
I was going to say, yeah, you could set it up like a reward system where you can't do something until, set up an automation until you complete your Wordle game, and then you can do something else in your house. That'd be very interesting and excessive, but I could see it happening.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Monarch Money is
Monarch Money, that's the good one.
Yeah, it is. I'm not familiar with it, but
so yeah, I mean, you know, like Mint.com is like something that's been around for like more than a decade, run by, you know, that corporation Intuit. It's like aggregates all your banking data from different spots and so that you can see your budget in one place. But Mint shut down earlier this year. So Monarch, well, actually, yeah, last year. And Monarch is a great alternative that also can help you with the budgeting. It can integrate with your bank accounts, credit cards, crypto wallet, your retirement savings, even investment and everything. But yeah, I'm not going to demo that because that's very private information.
I can imagine. Yeah, don't do it.
Yep. So there's the Monarch Money.
Thank you so much for that, Jeff, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Added this one. Oh, that's fine.
Oh, Trigger CMD. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk about that one for a bit, actually, because this one amazes me. If you're using Trigger CMD, you can now use it with Home Assistant, of course. Like, there's no way to do it. I looked at the service and I was like, what the hell am I looking at? Let me share the tab of their website. Trigger CMD is a cloud service that allows you to securely and remotely run commands on your computers. Why would you do that remotely through a cloud? And it's also not telling me how it does that and how it accesses my computer. I'm not really.
It's a great way to build a botnet.
It's a great way to build a botnet, yes.
Securely.
She built securely on a botnet. Yeah, that was my first feeling too. I'm not really sure what it entails, but if you're using that and a fan of this service, maybe it doesn't give me the best feeling ever. But if you're happy with it, and yeah, you can now use it. I would say peak security right there. Yeah, definitely.
There's a tutorial now in our creator network, which is cool if you're really curious.
There's a tutorial. I saw one on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know. This one amazes me. I'm not sure why. Somebody writes, same reason why I haven't installed has.agent. If that's triggering. I just want to do. The has.agent, by the way, is at least something you can use locally.
Yeah, exactly.
This requires and always uses the cloud service. So, but yeah, giving command access to a remote machine in general might not be the best idea ever.
Yeah.
What is the WeHeat?
WeHeat. That's a Dutch company. And they make those heat pumps, and you can just monitor those. And I'm actually happy with it because in the Netherlands specifically, it's not that I'm using it, but if in the Netherlands specifically, we are very dependent on gas, as in natural gas flowing in through our homes, which we use to heat our homes. So the government is really working on getting that removed. So there's a lot of support for using heat pumps, and it's a really hot topic. Pun intended here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
All right. We also have a new visual integration, and
yes,
as with every single freaking release, it's one by O-Power, Arizona Public Service out there.
I'm so glad that it's integrated. For many years, I wanted O-Power to be integrated, and now the floodgates have opened once that integration is done. Thank you.
It's definitely a floodgate. Every single release, we're seeing a new one appearing here. It's cool. Some noteworthy improvements to existing integrations. Bree keeps working on Tesla stuff, so the Tesla fleet integration is now also more complete. Tons of new entities there where you can honk your car's horn and beat up it before you enter it and play tunes on it, and it's pretty freaking nice. Thank you so much, Bree, for your continuous effort on all the Tesla stuff. I believe this is the fourth Tesla integration that's now being completed or something. So you're definitely holding up there. Some Reolink updates for the Reolink hub, if you have one of those. Pretty cool. Some more controls. And Ring devices got some updates, motion detection switches and volume controls, which is pretty nice, actually.
Squeezebox still have updates. That's surprising.
Yes. Well, it's even, I tended to say worse, but it's not worse. The project is actually alive and kicking, and it's now the Lyran music server, known as Lyran music server nowadays, and it keeps updating. And it now supports setting favorites or showing favorites in the media browser in Home Assistant, which is pretty freaking nice if you want to access them quickly. That's pretty nice. Google Cloud now supports speech to text, which is an essential component if you build up Assist, right? So you can now build an Assist pipeline with our voice assistant using Google Cloud speech to text if you want to. They also have a free tier there. So if you're looking for something that is partly free and you want to use Google for that, you can. A calendar entity for your Husqvarna. I hope I'm saying it right. And class editor support for home batteries to the Auto. What would you pronounce that?
Home batteries. Otaku. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That integration, and you can use it in your energy dashboard. So that's awesome. Some new integration also available through the UI. Mom's CMS is now set up for the UI. Google Cloud Platform, which we just saw, which has the new speech-to-text stuff. HTML5 push notifications. Thank you for confirming this. I'm not sure we're still using that nowadays, but if you want to, you can, I guess. And it's there. Though I'm not sure why, but still, if you have a use case for it, maybe some older browser or tablets that could use it. Maybe that might be a good one. Not sure. And last but not least, which I think is a very good one, it's the mold indicator, which is now in the helpers menu available through the UI. And that means that you can give it a temperature sensor, an outside temperature sensor, and a humidity sensor. And then it will give you an indication of, well, mold creating there. Like if you're doing a good job at making mold.
Look, we have one of the 26 people that use HTML5 push notifications. Yay.
Hi, Bart. Does it work? I can't remember. I think I used it at the very, very beginning. I started playing with Home Assistant, actually. Talking about integrations, we also have a little update on Matter. And Matter is showing up here pretty often, right, in the past releases. And yeah, development is continually strong. Like not just our development, the development of Matter as a whole. Like many manufacturers are pushing out devices now, and it's no longer some mythical thing. It's actually becoming a thing where you can actually buy devices everywhere now, and it's cool. From the Home Assistant end, we're running towards the finish line to get certified. We want to be a certified Matter device or controller, basically, to also be able to show you guys that we are serious and good and like all perfect and fine and working well. That's a big logo because it matters. Oh, God. I'm not going to play that sound. That's just annoying, maybe. Anyways, that. For this release, there's some new improvements here. We have now support for button and valve entities. If your device needs them or supports them, they will show up. Operational states, this is interesting. For dishwasher. Smoke, CO2
outside sensor, that's useful.
Yeah.
There's like after Google Nest, kind of not really making carbon monoxide sensors, so it's good to see more competition.
Yeah, this is an important sensor to have in your home, by the way. I think it's very useful. It's very useful to have indications to open a window, ventilate a bit, things like that. It's definitely a very helpful one if you're looking for a smart home device to add to your collection.
If you have a gas stove, definitely CO sensors.
Definitely.
And the last one is the most interesting to me.
Official power and energy support.
I used to use Zigbee for that, but Matter might be a good alternative to check out now.
I still really I do understand like Matter is still evolving and shit happening, right? But how is it possible that this wasn't part of the first specification of Matter? To be honest, like that to me that's still a weird thing, but nevertheless, I'm happy it's now here to see the Matter 1.3 specification, which supports power and energy sensors to land in the Home Assistant too. Other noteworthy changes, and these are the changes that are not really integration specific, but more about Home Assistant itself. We started adding model IDs to devices internally. So on the integration page or on the device page, you will definitely now possibly see two things. One is the model name, and the other is the model ID, or maybe the model number in that case, depending on how your device calls it. But it gives a more like a unique serial kind of number versus like, I don't know, this is called the plugwise Tom, which I have here, which is a TRV. And that one has a part number, which is 105.150.111, but the model number is Tom, right? Or the model name is Tom. So there's a difference between number and number ID. We want to see this more in many more integrations. So if you're looking for a Hacktoberfest task to do and you're a little bit in programming, this is one of the transitions we want to make with most of the integrations, because we want to be able to distinguish devices correctly and the different types, and maybe in the far, far future, do something with them. Yeah.
Far, far future.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't know. It sounds like a 1-hour project.
We do a lot of 1-hour projects. And that's how our months end, basically. But we'll see. We should do a 1-hour project again, Madalena. The last time we did it last time.
What would that be?
Yeah, I don't know. The crafts we talked about, Madalena showed them. That was really cool. Oh, I find this one so cool. Eric added this. So if you've ever seen a discovered device in Home Assistant, and you ignored it because you're like, I don't want to add this device right now. And later you're like, okay, now I want to add it again. And then unignore it to make it show up again. It wouldn't show up. If you did unignore, it would be gone. And then the only way to make Home Assistant discover it again is to restart Home Assistant, which was super annoying in my opinion, especially as a developer, right? Like I clicked those buttons quite a bit, and then it's just, I've got to restart the darn thing again. That's not fixed. If you unignore a discovered device, it will pop up again, so you can add it immediately, directly. Like that's just super nice little touch. It's an old school annoyance that really had quite a lot of work needed to get fixed. But yeah, it's fixed. Thank you there, Eric. That's really helpful.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great one.
Yeah. We now have some new units, calories, millimeters a seconds, and inches a seconds, for respectively like energy and speed. It's kind of fun though. Calories is an energy unit, right? So if you want to, you could display your home energy usage in calories.
It's more like for exercise, like for health.
No, definitely. It's just if you want to, you could now, right? Because we can, kind of deal. But yeah, that's cool.
Nice.
Renaming a device will also rename entities. And previously, if you got a question, you could say yes or no, and then it was a surprise what would happen. And Tim Carwatts didn't like that. So the dialog asking you if you really want to rename also the entities will now show a list of before and after, so you know what's happening. So that's pretty freaking cool. Yep. Merge responses, new template function. You do perform an action that returns a response, you can merge them. If you have multiple or a single call that returns multiple responses, you can merge them in a single list you can iterate on. This is more of a really advanced templated thing, but if you're into that stuff, that is definitely helpful. And in a similar ballpark, we also have trigger-based templates that now support conditions, which is actually pretty freaking cool. So let me see if there's one in quickly. No, there's no example there, so I'm going to skip that. But yes, that's pretty cool. Just like automations, you can give these template entities now condition 2. Last but not least, you can also create a templated alarm control panel straight from the UI. So if you go to the helpers and add a template helper, the alarm control panel is now listed there. It's pretty useful. The developer tools for statistics we've seen, and we have a new entity. It's called the assist satellite entity. And this new entity is a building block, and I'm not sure what to tell you otherwise about it. It's part of our new secret project that's coming, some new hardware. You might have heard about it before.
Secret?
It's secret. Don't do it. It's a secret. Don't show it, Andy.
People can pause the frame.
We can pause the frame, yeah, and get it out. Definitely. No, there's a new hardware coming. It's not a secret. We all know, but what it looks like and what it entails is not public information yet. We're working on the final details.
Yeah.
And to make this new magical, futuristic, unknown device work in the near future, we've added this little entity here, which aids with not just that device, but basically any voice assistant device in the future that wants to hook up to Home Assistant. So this is not something exclusively for that hardware, though. But yes, there's a device inbound, which is definitely not a secret.
100% a device.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can guarantee that. That's confirmed.
It's a device.
It's
I can even
tangible, very
can-
tactile.
I can actually trigger it right now, but I'm not sure if you can hear it. But yeah,
It's very
teaser.
clicky.
it's very good. Actually, I'm 11 meters away from the device right now where I'm sitting. I can just speak up normally and it works. So it's definitely promising.
Good hardware.
Good hardware. Yes, Andy, thank you. Well done, mate.
You're biased.
Oh, that's also true. Show it. You have to say okay, Paul. Yeah, that's the new keyword. You don't spoil all the beans there, Darren.
Yeah,
Anyways, The source of a repair, we talked about that one. The YAML editor improvements, we talked about that one. The nice, beautiful new lines and the collapsing there. And
yeah,
here we are at the backwards incompatible changes. There are not too many there, though. Well, I would say climate and humidity, the commands to set humidity, for example, are now more strict. So if a device says, well, it must be a humidity percentage between 50 and 60%, and you try to set it to 70, the call will fail. So that's basically new. Previously, you could give it a wrong percentage and Home Assistant would just swallow it. Right now, we are more strict in what we get. That's same for your humidifier. And there's some more little things here. Just go through it. It's nothing big. It's little things. This one is your open therm gateways, changing some entities around. Squeeze box, I'm not even sure. Oh, these were deprecated entity attributes that have been removed. So this was already something that was previously in here. Thermo smoke, that's an interesting one. And TFIAC, I'm not sure if anybody's using these integrations, but if you are, they will no longer work as of this release. We do need help in fixing these. And it's caused by a conflict from an upstream package. It's not something we can do anything about at this point, but we also do not have these devices. We don't know what to do with them. The usage of these are low. There are just a couple of users of these, but if you are affected and you want to help out, we definitely could use your help here. Z-Wave is in here. It needs a certain version of the Z-Wave add-on you have installed. If you use the default add-on that's built in and maintained by Home Assistant, the integration will handle this for you. So on upgrade, it will just upgrade the add-on and it's fine. But if you use a manual Docker container or use the community Z-Wave UI add-on, then you need to make sure you're upgraded. Even if you do upgrade and forgot about these, you will get a nice repair issue and the world will not fall apart. So it's all good. It's fine. Don't worry too much about it, but it's good to note it's there. And that would, for me, pretty much.
For this release. Yeah. Yay.
That's quite
it's much smaller. It's a small release. So a couple questions, and I didn't know if you wanted to address it.
That's quite
much smaller.
Let's not watch ourselves.
Yeah, no,
that's what I wanted to do, but
Inception.
The controls indeed are failing me again.
Okay, so what the heck? Month of what the heck? People are asking about it. So what the heck is up with what the heck? So a couple of people asked about it, and we basically talked a little bit about it in that we're still not really sure about this. Do we have any other things around it?
Yeah. No, yeah, there's some ideas flowing around, but definitely not this month, right? Maybe later this year, November, who knows? But yeah, we need to definitely talk about. One thing that, like, J-Lo and I really want to see happen is that, like, the month of what the heck, we will have some sort of a format so that people are focusing on describing what the problems that you have rather than telling you what the solution is. And so that we can use it and collect them and inform the next year's roadmap, so.
Yeah. And not just that, right? We're also looking for the little things to do for the month of what the heck. So it's also like there's a twofold, right? One, we can learn from the things you guys want, but also we can maybe see things that we are like, shit, that's a simple fix. That's a 1 hour project, right? And that's a little thing we can do. And it's a great user pulse indeed from that perspective, but also from a development perspective, we learn about little annoyances and things in the low-hanging fruit we can do. And sometimes things that are looking so big and problematic turn out to be not to be that big of a problem, and we can fix quick and easily. So the one for the hack is truly really great, but it does add a whole lot of load onto the project, and we really need to carefully select where and when we do that. We definitely want to do one sometime soon, maybe this year, and we'll that's the aim at least. So we'll see.
Petro at the RBAC.
Yeah, that's not a 1 hour project. Let's put it that way. Definitely not. Definitely not. Can we get
So there's a little
quicker-
something that we need to talk about, right? Paulus is suspiciously not here because he's drinking beer somewhere. But
Mhm.
there's a lot of things that actually happen that maybe end of this month, something that
Oh,
you
yeah.
might want to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Oh, yes. Paulus and I and Missy are going to the GitHub Universe at the end of the month. And yeah, we will be speaking there. Paulus and I will be on stage talking about Home Assistant, which is very, very exciting and very cool. Yeah. So that's definitely something to check out if you're, especially if you're a developer, right? The GitHub Universe, an open source developer, GitHub Universe is an awesome thing to go into. And yeah, I'm so excited. This is so.
Let's
Hello.
see. Oh, Frank. Oh, you need to upload your picture.
I actually
What
did. I'm
is
not sure
that?
why it's not there yet.
Oh man. Okay. Paulus.
Yeah, I'm not speaking, so I'm not on there. It's just those two.
look-
but I
look
will
at
be there.
handsome
And we're
photo.
hosting a meetup the Saturday before on the 26th of October. So the universe starts on the 29th. And yeah, we'll be there for a little bit, be there that weekend. I'll post up a link if people are actually interested in you're going to be there, you'll want to show up. We need your name and email address. So to be able to add you to the list. So I'll post that up here in the chat in just a second for people. And yeah, if you want to come hang out with us, we'll be there.
Did you say an in-person meetup in San Francisco?
Yes, I did say
Yes.
an in-person
Whoa.
meetup.
Whoa, nice.
Yes, definitely. Of course,
Mm.
some stickers.
And we have some special collectible too, right?
Yes. I'm not going to talk about what that is yet. I'll wait until we're actually there. No,
We
that's
do?
special.
I want one.
We do have a special. Yes, I'll make sure people get it. But yes,
Yeah,
there's a special collectible we're going to have for the
designing
event.
something really cool. Yeah.
Yes, it's so fun.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I almost forgot about that, which is actually stupid because it's very exciting. But anyways, sorry. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for the reminder there, Madalena.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing is, let's see what happened in the past month so far. That's this one. We joined so we're still in process of certifying Meta, but we already joined the Z-Wave Alliance board this month. It was a big deal. September 24th. So that's a week ago, right? A week and a half ago. And yeah, Paulus is on the board. And yeah, we support any open protocols and standard because an open protocol standard allows device to be usable and reusable for many, many years to come because it's based on an open standard. So by being on the board of Z-Wave Alliance, we'll be able to help influence the development of Z-Wave and hopefully push them to a more open source direction. But I'm probably butchering this. Paulus probably can tell the story a lot better. But yeah,
You did okay.
but yeah, you can see his face right here. Even though he's not on this stream, he's still you still have a
You cannot run away from him.
Yeah,
He will
still
be
show
here.
up.
Additionally, we had this month our 11th birthday,
Oh
Last
yes,
which was a very fun stream, by the way. Thank you so much there, Missy, to organize that one. That stream was so much fun. If you haven't seen it, go back. Pauls and I weren't like aware of the questions, so Missy and Beata Thinker were there
it is.
to fire questions at us, and that was interesting. one of the questions made me open my beer instantly because I couldn't use a drink at that point. So yeah,
it was YAML gate. That's why.
yeah, that's
Oh
why.
yeah,
Oh boy.
yes. That
That was
was
definitely a
that was a fun one. Oh wow.
Yes.
This whole thing is so much this stream has so much inception. We are
I
like
was not
triggers
in-
within triggers. Now we're like people within people. webcams.
I did not. I was not at Paulus's place, by the way. I got a lot of questions like, were you with Paulus? No, this is somebody. I'm not even sure where it's coming from. Did you create that, Andy? Yeah, right. Okay, so Andy Paulus place and created a picture of Paulus's office and background, and now everybody at Nobukasa has his background, so we can all be in Paulus's his office during like meetings and such. It's just really weird. I used it on stream. It's internal funny thing.
Small.
Anyway, small but fun, definitely. One of the fun things. Yeah.
Great job. Yeah, check out the stream.
Yeah. So that's
Uh,
this month, I would say.
Last but not the least, there's iOS 18 compatibility, which is very important because now you can have cool tinted icons. Yay. Okay. The end.
Yeah,
that's all
we
there is
also
for
had
iOS.
I was going to say there's also the Android release happened yesterday evening as well. So that one updated. There's new stuff for people who use Wear OS. So there's a couple things in there. Page zoom level settings actually available on Android now. So yeah, both iOS and Android have been updated in the past couple weeks.
So you can have a denser dashboard on an Android tablet if you want to. That sounds awesome. Or less dense if you want. But yeah, there's a lot of updates. Updates for the control center, which is cool. You can now add buttons to the control center on the iOS. And this one is cool too, because you can now launch assist very quickly with just the action button. So just one click while the other takes a while to load. So, and yeah, an Apple Watch configuration.
Yeah, that's cool. You can do that from the UI now easily. So that's pretty freaking nice, to be honest. That's a very good addition.
Do it on the phone.
Yeah. Very visual, very
Feed
cool.
the cat from your watch. Nice. Nice.
All right.
Cool. Ta-da.
I would say that's it for this month. For upcoming month, I'm looking forward to the release upcoming month. I know what's in there. There's this, like we had last release was a small one. This release is a medium one, and I expect, I'm not sure how you look at it, Madalena, because you're involved too, but I would say we're leaving this year with some big bangs. So I'm looking forward to what's happening. So definitely stay tuned here, and not just in terms of releases, right? We might as well see some hardware, maybe, Andy?
Maybe by the end of the year.
Can you give me a Christmas present, please? Maybe. No, we'll see. I don't know.
Maybe.
Software-wise, we'll definitely give you guys some big bangs there. Shit, I tried to tease Andy here. I'm sorry, guys, didn't succeed. I tried. Anyways, that's it for this month. Yeah, I guess we can leave it at this, right?
Yeah. Awesome.
Great fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a good Halloween, and see you in November.
Happy Hacktober.
See you soon.
Happy October, yes.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.